Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar today. So the subject of our webinar is what's new in Advanced Design 2025.1. So we will talk about some of the new features and other plans that we have for Advanced Design. My name is Farshad Purshak. I am the Senior Technical Manager for Structural Analysis Solutions at GRAITEC. So let's go on with our slides. So as you know, just an introduction for GRAITEC. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with GRAITEC. We are a company with two hats. First of all, we are actually Autodesk partners, which we provide all of the support and products of Autodesk as resellers. And secondly, we are also software developers. So we develop our own IPs like Advanced Design, which is the subject of our discussion today. So before jumping into the version of 2025.1, I would like to have a recap of what we have added and what kind of features we had in 2025 version. So let's go through those features first. So the first feature that we added was the ability to basically modify the stiffness modifiers or stiffness parameters of the planar elements in Advanced Design. So as you see here in this demonstration, so you have two types of modifications. You can have a basic, which you can provide modification factors based on the different types of stiffness, like membrane, bending, and shear, and you can put the parameters there for each parameter. As well, if you want to go really into detail, like modifying directly the stiffness metrics of the elements, you can also go and do the detailed method here. So this modification will be available. It is available from the properties menu of the planar elements in Advanced Design. So you can just go there, stiffness modifiers, click here, and then you can have access to these modification tools. So it has some usages. For example, I have two of them here. So for example, if you're modeling voided slabs, as you see here, and if you want to have the effect of the openings inside your planar elements of concrete, let's say you want to have correct stiffness, either in bending, on axial, or shear, etc. This is one example of using this tool, and the other one is even like much more simpler. So let's say you have a planar element which works like a wall, but you want to basically remove the stiffness for lateral forces. You want the wall just to take vertical forces. So using those options here, as you see, you can just make the wall to take vertical forces and doesn't take lateral forces. So these are like two types of implementations that you can use for this feature, but there are others as well. So a new method of load distribution from load areas. So as you know, in Advanced Design, we use normally load areas and we apply loads on those. So now we have added also the standard method. We had it already, and now we have added a second method, which is FEM transfer, which is going to distribute the forces much more accurately for the edge elements. So for example, here I have my two-way load area with a distributed load, and this is going to be the standard distribution. And if you want to really have a very detailed distribution based on stiffness and etc., we also added this option here. Same thing for this triangular distribution, as you see down there. So and to access this tool, it is very simple. Again, it's going to be in the planar element properties, and you can go here for the load distribution or load transfer method and define the method that you prefer to apply to your project. Now you can visualize the foundations in the main structural model. So we have added this tool. So it has some Benefits, as you see here, now it's possible to see them in your 3D visualization and in the viewpoints. When you're creating your documentation with foundation dimensions, you will see the foundation dimensions in the documents, etc. And also, it is supporting the exchange between RC footing modules, so you can select this foundation object and send it to the foundation module of Advanced Design. So we had the data tables before in Advanced Design, so you were able to export all of your elements, etc., to Excel. But now the new tool that we have added is now you can also create new objects in using the data table. So for example, here I have an example. I have all of my elements in Excel. I have added some extra elements, and now I'm just importing them inside Advanced Design data grid. And then, as you see, those new elements which are created through Excel will be added to my geometry. So this is also very important and very helpful feature to create a new geometry based on Excel sheets. New cold form sections. On top of standard light gauge or cold form sections that we already had in Advanced Design, now we have added extra shapes here, which they are parametric. So as you see here, you can select the shape, assign the values, the parametric values, and now you can perform your code-based checks for structures that they are using cold form sections. Now we have added extra results again in the shapesheet results. So now you can actually see every detail based on design or geometrical detail of your elements by mesh. So before we had that only on the full length of the member, but now if you mesh the member, we have more detailed results. So you can go basically one by one, and here you can select the mesh that you want to inspect, the verification, code design verification, and etc. Based on each mesh, which is much more detailed now. Another improvement here, so now you can add the Young modulus of rebars inside the concrete. So this is going to affect the stiffness of the concrete element and probably internal forces as well. So we have this option now added for rebars. And as you see here, I have an example with different types of rebars inside. And as you see, it affects kind of my internal forces when I'm playing around with the stiffness of the rebars because of the analysis type. We have some improvements for the RC design module of Advanced Design. Now you can also export the bar schedules directly inside Excel, as you see there. We have also some enhanced user experience that it was coming from our users. For example, as you see, an option to quickly display the identification numbers and load values on 2D view of the frames, as well adding the area, as you see here, a meshed area or infill area, basically to display the planar loads or uniform loads on the slabs much more better and visible. So that was an overview or recap of what we added in 2025 version. And now let's have some of the features that we have in 2025.1. So just to give you a general overview, the focus on 2025.1 was mostly on fixing some bugs, some small improvements, and basically preparing basis for the next release, which we will have very important features in the next release that we are preparing the basis for that right now in Advanced Design. So some of these, again, it's going to be an option to display the extreme value per element. So we have added this option to the results option view. So you can just go there, select, and we have different options there. So you can have min, max, or min and max, both of them. So it's going to be available for all graphical results, so either internal forces, etc. It can also be activated while you're displaying the values. The benefit is instead of seeing so many values, you will just see the maximum, which is happening in that element. I mean, if you really want to inspect just the maximum in that element, it's going to help you to quickly identify the extreme values and also preparing the view of a report. So there's an example here, as you see there. It's going to automatically detect the maximum either force or deformation, etc., that's happening in the element, and it's going to just show you the maximum which is happening. So again, here I have some examples, more detailed examples of that new feature. So here, as you see, I am looking into my actual force. And as you see, I have so many elements or values in each element, but using that option, I can see just one in the middle, which is basically presenting the maximum which is happening in that element. Same thing for the planar elements. So when I have my planar slab or element like that, instead of seeing everything in every mesh, which can be a bit confusing and complicated, now using that option, you can only see the maximum which is happening inside that slab. And finally, this tool also works for design load ratios. So if you want to just see the one that's happening in the maximum and it's more critical, you can just use this option as you see there. Better integration of forces for ribs. Again, this is an improvement for the graphical presentation. So what we had before was like even if you mesh if you use very refined mesh, you would see this kind of behavior when you're adding your ribs because they're applying like some punctual loads to the slab and the edges. So, but now in Advanced Design 2025, you can have a much more smoother distribution, basically, of forces or presentation of forces, which is more accurate because we're doing the integration and etc. behind the scenes. So this is also a new feature added here. Now, small improvement here. So shape sheets, now we are using the native docx format. If you use like Advanced Design, our format, the native format was RTF. Now we've changed it to docx, which is much more faster, and you can directly open it in MS Word, and it doesn't have basically the limitations of the RTF format. We have added additional types of reinforcement annotations, again, for concrete module of Advanced Design. So if you're using Advanced Design, we have a concrete module that it can basically create rebar placements for you. Also, it creates drawings. So in drawings, these are like the new tools that we have added. So now you can have basically three types of annotations for the rebars. So it can be along the lines, it can be horizontal text, or horizontal text and lines, as you see here, the examples. Now you can basically export all of your drawings in a single PDF document. So before we needed to do it one by one for each sheet, but now you can add all of them together as batch commands, and it's going to automatically generate all of the drawings in the same PDF file. Now, when you're defining your foundation and the elevation of foundation, we have added a new option here, which you can have or add the effect of the difference in elevation of the soil level. So as you see the examples here, in older version or in 2025 version, you just had to, you had only the option to have the same level of the soil, but now adding this dialog box here, you can add any elevation difference for the foundation, as you see here, and apply correct soil configuration, etc., to your foundation. New addition to basically North American codes, which is basically mostly based on Canadian and US standards. So now we have added also soil bearing capacity for SLS load combinations. We had that before for ULS. Now you can also check the foundation performance, and basically you see the calculation here, and check how foundation basically behaves under SLS load combinations. And now it's also can be added to a part of your foundation checks in Advanced Design. Another improvement here for reporting concrete design. So now we have more information here, basically to show more load combinations for concrete design, especially like for columns. So you can inspect more in detail, for example, calculation of AX or AY longitudinal reinforcement is coming from which critical load combination. So we can show you more details in our report, as you see there. So now we have some additions to our GRAITEC Advantage website. So if you're familiar with GRAITEC Advantage, that is a platform that you can access different documents. You can access all of the installation packages, advanced design patches, and even other IPs of GRAITEC. Now we are improving this Advantage website. For example, I have some screenshots here. So we are working on them right now, and it's coming soon. But now you can access all of the technical articles directly from your GRAITEC Advantage web page, as you see there. So you just click on there, and it's going to show all of the technical articles. The other improvement is, again, in the GRAITEC Advantage, is going to be the product roadmaps. Now you can see basically what our development team are planning to work on the software. So you can preview the software development plans. You can see the status of each feature that we are planning to do. So is it released, is it in work, planned, or under consideration? We will add a possibility for you to vote on each feature. And also there is a possibility for you to sending the ideas directly to the development team. So we can check your ideas, we can consider them. And basically this is a way to have more communication, clearer communication with our clients, that they can ask us to do what kind of features they need in advanced design. Here I would also like to just mention some of the plans that we have for the next year release. So just a disclaimer, the features that I'm going to talk right now, they are under consideration. And there's no guarantee that we will appear all of them. We will have all of them in the next version. And these are like just our current plans, that it's possible that they may change. So, but I would like to anyhow discuss about these features which are coming to Advanced Design next year. So as you see here, composite beams, we are adding composite beams, composite steel and concrete beams, concrete slab on top beams for modeling, analyzing, and also code checking based on ASC codes. So this is coming to Advanced Design. Modeling of pile foundations under consideration. We are working on adding the new updated versions of ASCE code, like for combinations, climatic loads, seismic loads, etc. New very important feature also here, layered shells. So it's going to help the modeling of very specific planar elements. So you can define different layers for your planar elements, which is going to basically include all of the stiffnesses and correct behavior of your layered shells using this new feature. Analysis and verification of CLT panels under the work. We are working also to have steel connections, modeling and design in Advanced Design, again based on ASC codes. So now we are working on moment and shear connections. as you know, in Advanced Design right now, we don't have a preview of reports. You just click on the generation and it's going to generate your report. But we are working on a feature which is called preview of reports. So you can preview the reports first before generating them to save some time. And again, many other small improvements that we are working on, like on user interface, RC calculations, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is the plans for the next year. Again, we are working on those. Our dev team actively are working on this, but again, there's no guarantee that we will have them 100%. This is just to inform you about the huge development and effort that we are putting in advanced design. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type them in the chat tool of the platform, and I will be answering them. Thank you.